Dear ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome. Good afternoon, good evening, good morning. I hope that all of you are doing well. I am Dominik Plattner, the ITTF High Performance Manager, and I am very happy and proud to warmly welcome all of you to our 28th ITTF High Performance and Development webinar with the topic Best Practices in Talent Identification. It is one of the utmost topics a member association has to deal with to be successful. We are all very interested in what our great guest of today has to present. But first of all, I want to talk shortly about the webinar code of the Q&A. Please leave your questions in the Q&A section. Our guest will try to answer as many as possible in the question and answer part of the webinar. So thanks very much. And now over to the introduction of our guest for today. I would like to warmly welcome Guillaume Simonin from France. 2006, he graduated with a professional master in physical training and coaching. From 2007 till 2009, he was one of the coaches in the formation of Can Akkuzu in the regional training center. From 2009 till 2013, he was the coach in the national center in Talence for the cadet and junior girls. And 2012 and 2013, the head coach of the national junior girl team. He won medals in the under 11, under 13, under 15, and under 18, and seniors as a coach in French championships. And furthermore, he also won medals in the Stiga Masters and Euro Mini Champs. And with the greatest result, the victory in 2008 with Solin Haushalter. And he has been working in the HOPES project in the French Federation since 2004. So from 2004 to 2011, he led the summer camp and the physical program as a project manager. Jean-Denis Constant was active. 2013 till 2019, he was the assistant of the project manager Damien Lossot. And from 2019 on until now, he has been the project manager himself. So merci beaucoup for taking the time, Guillaume. It's nice to meet you.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks, Dominic, for the invitation. I hope my English will be at the level of the ITTF webinar. So we'll see in 1 hour now.
Thank you very much. And we do think so. And now, last but not least, I warmly welcome our ITTF High Performance Elite Coach, Massimo Constantini. So pass over to you, Max.
Thank you, Dominique, and thanks again, Guillaume, for your time. Today we have a special opportunity really to learn more in our, pathway of meeting the knowledge. Today we have one of the maybe best practice that we can have. France is traditionally a great country capable of producing world-class players continuously, and must be the reason behind. So the reason is a good starting, a good recruitment, a good program. Since the very early age. So the talent identification is crucial in this part, as Dominic was saying. So I'm eager to hear Guillaume and see the presentation because it will be really interesting for all of us that care and has a great interest in producing future champions. So, Guillaume, once again, thank you very much. I believe I stop here and I pass to you. How do you say? The floor is yours, the screen is yours, the computer is yours. Please go ahead. And good luck. Thank you.
Thanks to you, Maximo. Okay, so I will share my screen. We will start now. I think I hope it's okay for everyone. So, hello, everybody. Really nice to do this little presentation because as Massimo said, this is the project almost 20 years ago. France do a great work. It's easy for me to say the federation do a big work because at the start it wasn't me, and there is some people who really make a difference and helping the France to be back in the good nation in Europe and I hope soon in the world. So as you can see on the picture, you can see Simon Gauzy when he was a kid. On one of his first Cadet Open, I think, Pritika Pavad, who is really often in picture on the ITTF website. And the two picture, this is the last picture of our training group last summer, when in 2019, not 20 because we can't. And we are also to the Ops Week Challenge in Europe in February in Luxembourg. So just to present where we are today. The intervention will be in 3 parts. As I said, I think it's important to go in genesis on the project because to understand what we want to do today and what we are doing today, we have to know where we're from. So after we will see in second part what we are doing what is the evolution we are making today, and maybe have a third part on the evolution, the reflection I have with two of my two people with I work. To see how we can be better. So in this part 1, the genesis of the project, in 2001, Michel Gadal came back after almost 10 years out of France as a national technical director, and to see how France was in this time in the 80s. So it was the golden age for the French. Like I said, with Jean-Philippe Gatien, you know all the players, but with a lot of medals in the Olympics level and world level. So, and of course, European champion too. In the young experts, it was a little bit different. Only one gold medal at the European Youth Championship. It was a cadet boy in team. I forget to mention in 1917. And a good result, but never a champion in single. We have silver medals, we have sometimes bronze, but at the European Youth Championship, 4 or 5 medals. It was really a maximum. And only win once in a cadet in 90s, excuse me, and we won one time in 70s. So Michel Galas asked to Jean-Denis Constant, you see a picture of him, not actual picture, to build a plan to resume, identify as early as possible the champion on tomorrow. The idea of Michel is we are losing too much time in the first year of practice. The level of, to take the reference of a Chinese kids at 8 and the level of a French player at 8, the gap is huge. It's too huge. If he was thinking it was too huge, and after at the end we can do the difference. So we have to reduce the gap. Never have the idea to make better than Chinese at the same age. It's for the young category was difficult. So Jean-Denis present plans in 3 main parts. The first part, what is important in a country like France with a nation where sport is important not as well, but there is a lot of sports, a lot of possibilities, because you have mountains, you have seas, you have town, you have campaign, so there is a lot of sport to do. So how to attract to table tennis in our clubs? Elements with strong potential. What is a strong potential? This is it's a bit difficult to say now, we will see later. So one of the aspects was to start earlier. A lot of our clubs don't do stuff with kids 20 years ago under 7 years old. So we want to work with kids when they have 6-7 years. So like this, we can have the time to train. And for example, in 2002, when Jean-Denis Constant started the project, the age of the kids, for the national level was 11 years old for the older one. 10 years later, now, and 10 years later, it's 9 years old. There is a lot of work in local levels, we'll see later, but now you can practice on the national level at 9 years. In 2020, it's more 8 years now. This is the first thing, start earlier. Recruitment for actions for clubs. So initiation in school, be present in the city events, making a lot of communication. The idea is not only wait in our clubs, that the kids are coming, we have to go out of our clubs, of our hall, to bring them in the hall, like I say with 3 examples. The second part, when the kids are here, it's to detect how are we going to make a choice, on what base, with what tools. The logical of the sport in France there is a lot of levels. So you have the local, the club, the regional, interregional, national. So we have this step by step for the kids. And every time there is a training camp, a competition by age, under 7, under 8, okay. An example for the season. To September to December, you have to go to the local level with competition. January, March, you have the regional level, always a competition and training camp. In April and May, like spring, interregional level, competition and training camp always. And in June, July, a big training camp with a competition included for the national level. At the national level, you will have 40 players. Okay, and to go step by step, you have an evaluation for the first step at the regional level, and at the international level and national level, there is some federation experts who are going and see who can pass on the other side. By example, at the start in 2002, 2003, there is some physical tests. So I put them. You have the explanation in French and a very quick resume in English just after. You have to see the quality, the arm velocity. So with a tennis ball throw, you have also to catch the ball after half turn, and you have 10 attempts and see how many times you catch the ball. So with 2 meters between the coach who say go and you go out, and then you have to catch the ball. So reaction time and coordination and eyes. You have another one. This is for leg velocity and coordination. This is multi-ball in French. You say pointe-ball, okay, like the kangaroo. You have the shuttle race too, okay, 40 meters. This is forward the starting and it's braking a little for braking speed and precedence. Precedence an important aspect because the stats is not easy when you are 20, but it's not easy too when you are 8 years old. And 2 other tests. You have the target, so to throw a ball into a circle, so for precision and concentration. And the hidden ball, it's a little more difficult to explain, and this is a test we don't do a lot because it was very long to make, and it takes a lot of time, and so we very quickly don't do it a lot. But it was for speed of decision making and concentration. This is an example. So what happened 20 years ago? It was important to test physically the kids. Of course, there is other items evaluated. There is the results, but not only this. There is also the address. The maturity was very important because when you want to be a high-level player, you have to move all around the world very quickly. So you have to have some maturity. And if we can resume in one sentence, the idea, the philosophy of the game was the game before technique. Understand the game, understand the dual interaction. You play against someone. You have to be good, but just good as better as the other. And here you have a picture, by example, of the kids who were in the INSEP, the National Center in 2005. I see 2005 in December. It missed some four people. They are in the picture just on the left of the screen because they were in China at this time. So it's Simon Gauzy, who is always in the top level, and 1 girl and 2 other boys, and almost all the players who are in the best in the national team are on this picture. You see, to tell the name of the senior team today, you can see Tristan Flore, you can see Can Akkuzu. There is not Emmanuel de Besson because Emmanuel de Besson is older, so he don't do all the process I described. And you are even with Simon Gauzy, you are the 4 players of the men's team. For the girls' team, there is my amigo who is on this picture. Laura Gasnier, Stéphane Leyette were older, so they are not in the picture too. The third part, after detect, is to support, say, how we can prepare them and to prepare detected players and coach for high-level demands. So a group was made. His name was Groupe France Détection. And The idea was to individualize monitoring by a regional and national level, to do some individualization, change a little bit if it's possible the hour of the school, to practice in the morning if it's possible, not always too late, stuff like this. So the federation helps the clubs and the trainer to find solution with the school, with the clubs. Training camp in France 4 or 5 days during the school time. Always during the school time, because when it's a holiday in France, there is a regional camp, so you can have a national and a regional camp. And like you see before, if they go to China one time, two times, maybe more for some players, 12 days during the summer, during the big summer training camp before the Euro Champs, but we'll talk about the Euro Champs just after. Long training course, Australia, Romania, China, I told you. And one aspect important to the start, this is the information for coach at the regional level, because in the 80s we see that there is a disconnection in the coach formation on the high level. So Christian Martin, as you can see the picture, write a document very important to make the philosophy of the game and feel very actually. I think it's always a good one. This is the La Route du Haut Niveau, the road for high level. Okay, the high level roads. Now it's gonna be evaluate, but this is the document who explain a lot how to train the kids and also when they're older. And through, I think it's almost the end. In 2009, this is Damien Loiseau, you see the picture, who was Jean-Denis Constant assistant, takes over and upgrade the system and focus a lot to start again younger. So he work with Corneo, with the brand Corneo, to make a specific racket, specific balls. He make a DVD to explain how to do stuff with the kids. And the DVD was making for making table tennis at home, making table tennis at school, and making table tennis with these little kids in the clubs. There is always 3 parts. We really want to do that. Damien make more international camp, training camp, and go to Japan, Russia, working more with the hopes too. And Damien and Jean-Denis in 2005 create the Euro Mini Champs. The goal is to have a competition to evaluate the project of the detection. 3 years after, it starts in 2002, in 2005, we would like to have a competition. And now, 15 years after, she's still there, and it's a big competition reference in Europe to see how the level the kids.
Great, Guillaume. I mean, I make this small break on your presentation. Well, I have several questions actually, because it's quite interesting, but not to stop you too long. I have one question that is related to the, let's say, to the selection. Okay, it all starts from the local, as you said, local, and then going up to regional, interregional, and so on, as we can understand. The part of the physical, let's call physical tests, you know, so are they equally important in assessment, or you think there is something more important, I don't know, coordination, or rather than speed, or rather than reflexes, and so on? Is there something that the pathway, the process, do you think are more important related to the overall assessment?
Yeah, we see in the second part now, at the start of the project, the idea was really to do a real detection with kids out of the table tennis environment, because we see there is a lot of kids, the parents are already players. So for the selection, the idea was to make big tests, and so physical tests with kids who never play table tennis. But now with 20 years of experience, we see it's difficult to pick, if I can say like this, to pick to the other sports, the kids. This is the conclusion of the stuff, because all the sports in France now are very organized on the 4-7 years old. So sometimes we have big chance that the parents already play table tennis. And for the high level after, it's a very important aspect, I think. But we don't actually. We want to do new tests. Maybe I will talk of them later. But it's difficult in table tennis because we are already on the lift on the racket a little bit too much. I think we'll see later.
Yeah, well, I understand that it's not easy. Also because parents, they are really eager to send the kids to play immediately to start the activities, while rightly you have explained that we want to see how is their attitude in sport in general, and something related to some particular features that table tennis requires. So great. I let you keep going to the second part of this interesting presentation. Please go ahead. Thank you.
Okay. Thanks, Massimo. So it's a good transition because on the current organization. So like I say, I was assistant coach of Damien Loiseau since 2014. 14, yes, and I take the place 1 year ago. The philosophy is still the same. This is one of the French of this project. It's always now I use actually words with the next gen. We talk about a lot of the next gen in a tennis, not in table tennis, but find the next gen champions. It's always the idea. Since 20 years now, we are really on that. But the system is more effective. The federation was making a lot. Was a starter. It's logical. Now we need the local and the regional have really one mission, very important. And after the national a little bit, and just only on identify the players. So we will see on two parts. On the local and the regional level, since 2 years ago now, there is one person by region oversees talent in education. So in France, we have 2 regions since 3 years ago. So we have 12 people in one in each region, with specifically on identifying talent education. Sorry. So this is a new aspect, and we can have me on my role of manager project have a connection with them, and we can have a lot of discussion on this and to be more reactive. So the first step, always the enrollment at 4-7 years. The goal of the person in charge at the regional level is to be a French proposal to evaluate kids for table tennis and see if there is a lot of kids, not a lot of kids, a number of lessons, like still the kind of indicator. Make a lot of action to attract young people to the clubs, like 20 years ago. Be working with departmental level, and of course, and be aware with the club. And now we will see a little picture was making 5 or 6 years ago to explain to some federation made this video clip to explain some advice to organize the first competition for young people. So Dominique, if you want.
Bonjour à tous. Ce montage a pour but de sensibiliser les comités départementaux sur la bonne pratique d'organisation des premières compétitions pour les enfants de 6 à 8 ans dans le cadre du processus de détection.
We can see this is tips for organization for a first competition, and it's talking about the months before. So what
Première
you
étape,
have to
la
do.
préparation,
All the
qui est déjà
competition
très
as
important,
if you what
qui
you
doit
want to
s'organiser
you want to
plusieurs
do
mois à
a
l'avance.
competition, you
Répartir
want
les
to do
tâches,
a work,
communiquer, envisager le
workshop
matériel,
organization,
etc.
you want to do the both. How many times you want to do
Mais pour commencer, il faut
the
savoir
competition
quel
on
type
one
d'action
day,
on va
on a
proposer.
half day.
Une compétition,
You have to see
des
if it's on
ateliers,
half day, 3 hours maximum.
les deux
Because they are little
réunis
kids, so not too long
sur une
time.
journée,
With
sur
4
une
or
demi-journée.
if you do a competition,
Faites votre
4 or
choix
5
en
games by
fonction
people.
de vos
Okay,
différents
so
objectifs.
already really you have really to fix a lot
Dans le
this
cas d'une
competition
compétition
because this is
seule, pensez à la
the
logistique
first
du juge
meeting with the
arbitre
activity.
pour faire une
Maybe the
compétition
first
qui ne
one they
dépasse
do
pas
a
3
match
heures et que
officially
chaque
with a
enfant
referee.
réussisse à faire au moins 4 ou 5
The
matchs.
most important is everyone has to be happy.
Deuxième étape de la
local
préparation,
organization
la
with
répartition
people.
des tâches.
And the
Avec
idea
notamment
is the
un
kids, the
responsable
parents
matériel, un
are
responsable
happy
de
and want to
l'affichage, un
come back.
responsable
This is
pour
the
la
most
buvette et le
important thing.
goûter, un
So
responsable pour les règlements
everyone's
et
responsibility
différents
is fixed
dossards,
before.
connaître les volontés
communication
présents qui
very
vont animer
important
les
with the
ateliers,
school, with the
arbitrer les
press,
différentes
and
parties.
this before the event, like you can see.
Troisième étape,
flyers.
communiquer. Pour
Before
cela,
the
il vous
event,
faut au
during
moins
the
une
event,
affiche
I
ou
will
un
talk later,
visuel
and
pour
of course
site
after.
internet et pour pouvoir diffuser autour de
For
vous.
the D-Day,
Une
what's
convocation
important
attrayante
for us,
et à envoyer
it's,
en
to
masse
speech
aux
before
clubs
to start,
et à leurs licenciés par mail,
because some
pourquoi pas.
parents are not from the
Contacter la
table
presse
tennis, and
avant,
if they were
pendant la
playing table
compétition,
tennis since 20
après,
years, there
informer
is,
les écoles,
20
les
years
différents
ago, there
centres de
is not a
loisirs,
lot
etc.
of stuff like
Et
this for
soigner
kids.
l'affichage dans la salle.
So
N'oubliez
explain
pas
what's gonna be happen.
d'expliquer le but de cette manifestation
Refreshment
pour
for the
attirer
adults,
un
it's
maximum
important.
d'enfants issus du
Podiums,
maximum de
rewards,
clubs de votre
and
territoire.
rewards for the 3 or 4 best players, but also
Pensez
a gift
enfin
for
à faire
everyone.
un plan de la
The
salle pour le
idea is
responsable du matériel
maybe it's
et
not the
après
winner
pour
of this
l'affichage
competition
pour
will
les
be
parents.
the most passionate for table tennis and the better later. So everyone had to get have a gift.
Le jour
them
J,
to the
c'est le
activity.
jour où on a le besoin le plus de
And of course,
bénévoles et tout le monde
along
doit
the
être
day,
sur le pont au
have
moins 1
picture,
à 2
have
heures
video
avant pour
for the
l'ensemble des
communication
éléments
after.
suivants.
Also, it's very important to see what's
Premier
what's
point,
happening.
évidemment,
You can see
l'installation de la
preparation
salle, la
of,
préparation
some
des
workshop for
ateliers
address,
pour les
precision,
différents
speed,
exercices
and all the
proposés
details
lors de
stuff.
la journée.
And the little extra we can have
Dans
on
votre
this
installation
kind
de la
of
salle, n'oubliez pas
organization on
de
one day.
nommer et
You
de
see
cibler les
some
différents
example.
espaces,
Like is to see some video of high
de
level,
numéroter les tables
like
et
the
de
kids can
placer
see
les
how the
différents
champion
équipements
can dream
pour
about them.
l'arbitre.
Demonstration of good
Ceci
players
afin
too
de
of a regional
faciliter
level.
le
To see
travail
how we can
logistique
play
pendant la
table tennis
compétition
on the regional
et
level.
de
It's
valoriser
always
votre
impressive when
organisation.
you have some skills. And also we have
Deuxième
to
étape,
prepare
le
the
jour J,
activity for
le
the parents.
pointage.
Like I will
Il
finish
est
on this,
important qu'il
but on
soit
this video you
organisé
see
si
all the
vous
parents
recevez du monde
arrive.
pour
So you have
distribuer les
someone
plaquettes,
who's
la
here to
formule
explain
d'information,
them
les lots et
what
tout
they're
ça.
gonna do, where they're gonna
Pensez
play, and
également
all
à
this stuff.
l'accueil des
So you
parents
have
avec un
an
café à
explanation.
la buvette. Les dossards permettent
okay,
aux enfants
Dominique,
d'être identifiés plus facilement selon leur année d'âge.
So this is one of the. I forgot to share my screen. Sorry. And I'm back. And like this. Okay. So this is an example. So the environment, it's very important to be good in communication and to make people stay in the hall. The second step, so to detect what we talked a little bit before, organize a regional system to identify children with high potential. In France, it's very depending because we have very, very big region and we have a small region with, like I said before, we have a lot of campaign, but a lot of towns sometimes. So it's difficult to make everywhere the same place. It's for that when we have one person in charge, she can fix like it's the better for his place. You have to do a training camp or end a competition, and you access to the international training camp. You have a pool of a regional teacher who say you can go on the next step. And the step is always longer and longer. On the regional step, the federation I ask 3 days at least for the regional camp. When you are on the interregional camp on the spring period, you are 4 or 5 days, normally 5 days. Okay, and always with the obligation to sleep on site for the kids, because if we want to select kids, if they can go home and sleep out of the home, it's important, because when we do a national camp, it had to be a plus for the kids. If every time he's sad because he don't see his parents, it's too early to take him on a national camp. So he have to stay home. He can work home with his clubs, with his trainers. So he have to be, like I said before, the maturity is important. If he's not ready, okay, but not a problem. But if you do regional camp, inter-regional camp, and after you go to the national camp, start of the summer of 7 days, when the kids have do all these steps, normally after it's okay. There is not a big problem. Okay. After, for the local and regional level, we ask them to come almost 1 year on the national training camp to see how the level is in France actually. Try where it's possible to develop primary classes. Primary in France, it's under 11. Donc found eventually classes where you can have flexible hours. Sometimes it's cool with a director very, very easy. Sometimes because it's a private school. Sometimes it's because there is already a section of gymnastics, because the gymnastic train a lot when they're kids like us. So we have to find a lot of place like this. get close as possible to the regional training center. There is one there is one region, one by region. So this is where the under 18, but almost under 15 are training every day in every region. So the kids, we ask them to go as possible, much as possible on this place, and participate with me, and we see with who in the collective reflection with the national staff. For me, national level, like I told, we are 12 people in charge. So we have Stéphane Nuclier. I forgot the picture of Stéphane and Clémence. I apologize for them. So Stéphane was the head coach of the men's national team in London in 2008. So he was in charge from Beijing to London. And Clémence Boutefeu, one of his work, it was in parallel. In parallel, he's making a coaching training mission in Paris. She formed trainer in Paris every year since 5 years now. So it's two different aspects very important for me, formation of the trainers for the coach, and Stéphane with the high level experience, and me as a project manager. We are the two people in charge really on the national level. And after the national camp at all, we have 40 kids. There is the picture in the first place. We now, after this big training camp of 7 days, we say, okay, we pick these people and we're gonna work with you for the 2, 3, 4, 5 years. Since 1 or 2 years, they are doing an evaluation year contains. Because in 7 days, for me, it was too difficult to see everything. It was very short. So after this, they will have one training camp with this coach, with the coach of the player during 3 days. After we have a training camp and a competition without coach and without coaching during the competition. They do a second time the interregional training camp, but not like the little ones. They are 1 year older, so they have to show something else. And the same time that the national training camps. And of course, all the years, because Stéphane, Clémence, and I are going on different interregional and national competition to see them in competition. And when we are doing all this year of evaluation, so we can see in different contexts, we choose some kids, so we put more energy. What did we see? What are we looking? This is the name of the stuff. This is the talent. For me, the talent, I pick 2 parts. This is the ball feeling, the eyes, hands, coordination of this kind of stuff. In France, we have a player who always said he's very gifted. This is the player like Patrick Chila. The feeling of the touch. You can have a player of Kokiniwa today who is very popular for that. So there is this aspect. And for me, one thing very important, this is ability to go fast. But the ability to go fast from the feet to the end. So you have to go fast with your legs, you have to go fast with your arms, but you have to go fast with your eyes, and you have to go fast with your brain. Because the table tennis, it's very difficult. And we can see the kids, if he's able to change really, because the adversary changed something, he can go quick with his brain to change the stuff. This is very important for us. I do a little disruption, but like a Belgian singer said, Jacques Brel, talent doesn't exist. Talent is wanting to do something. And this, if we want, this is the second part. This is the tenacity for me. And the 2 parts of the tenacity, this is the passionate about table tennis. And this is one stuff, and this is one reason for the passionate about table tennis that we want to do 1 year of evaluation. Because we can have a kid who makes 7 days of his life at the first national camp, and after we see he's not so much passionate. He don't want to go to other national camp. He don't want to train more with his coach on the local level, and he's not very interested by table tennis or by sports. So this is very important, because table tennis is a crazy sport, like a lot of sports, and we spend a lot of time. So we have to love table tennis, and see after 1 year you can see better if kids is really passionate by table tennis. And the tenacity, it's so we have to wait the times and to play all the points. The capacity to play when we are leading, when we are in bad position, and all this stuff, and play all the points when we see the kids on regional competition or in the final of the French championship, by example, they play all the points with the same energy, the same volunteers to win all the points. This is something with the tenacity we are very, very important for us. And when we do our selection, and now it's the document I told you before, the Route de Haut Niveau, the Road of the High Level by Christian Martin. We work a lot since now 10, 20 years on a lot of aspects, and I reason in two stuff on what quality I work on. This is mobility, the movement, always the movement. So when I talk about the global movement, in France, sometimes we are very focused on what the coach sees, so the arms and all this stuff, and put all the legs and all the stuff and the global movement in all the points, not only when I play between my different strokes too, the global movement and the physical pressure. The table tennis evolution today is more and more and more powerful, and you have to be physical presently, stay close to the table more than some years ago, and to be on this physical pressure is very important. So you have this aspect on the mobility, and like I told before about the brain and the smart aspect, the adaptation of the other players. So if I can resume these things in 2 items, this is play right, choose the good trajectory, the good speed for the kids, not always choose very straight and as fast as possible. It's not always play right. And the second part, very important, the embarrass the opponent. The embarrass the opponent, we are working a lot on this. And we insist a lot on rotation, because when they're kids, they have to understand all the rotation, because after it's very, very important aspect, and the placement of the ball. And when you are little, if you are good in rotation in placement, the game is easier. When you are on the high level, it's different, because you have to be powerful too. The placement, the rotation is not enough. But kids, you have to learn this, because you really need this for after. And there is 3 video of presentation. You can go, Dominic, on it. There is example. This is not perfect example. This is the situation in national training camp 1 year ago. Go on this one. You stay on the first one, Dominic. This is a video. The exercise, it's always. Always on all the table. So this is the second exercise. We call this question in France. This is the old video when Jean-Denis was in charge, me on the camera. Well, you can train free on the table, but you don't use rotation. And this is the third aspect, more for the mobility, to be smart too. You understand the goal of the game, it's to put my feet on the others. So you have to be smart, because you don't have to be touched when you want to touch the other. So we do a lot of exercise in the physical aspect in the warm-up. All the dual activities, we take a lot of ideas in judo, in I don't know in English the escrime, how we say, in fencing. So I found in fencing, all the sport duel like this, we pick ideas a lot. I take back the screen. Okay, so it's 3 videos. We explain a little bit the mobility with the forehand on all the table, but you have to play. When you play forehand on all the table, you have to move. When you play with backhand and forehand close to the table, but free, you have to be smart and move. And the last one is to be smart, because if you do always the same tactics to put your feet on the others, it will not work a long time. Okay, it was the 3 video on mine. Sorry. Okay, on the national level now, the main guideline of the project now. What we want, and it was a little bit different 20 years ago, the project exists only to be a plush. It's very important for the potential, not for exist. If there is years we have a lot of kids and some years we don't have a lot of kids, it's not a problem. We are not just here for exist. If we have potential players, we have to do special things for them. Not the idea of the group concept. The idea, you see, you have the big picture in 2005 with a lot of kids, and all the kids are making almost the same thing. Now it's not a logical of addition of individuals. There is a lot of one kids go on this training center because there is this coach or this partner, he can progress. And sometimes in the years we are all together, but it's not the majority of the action. Everyone has their own space and agree to do things differently depending on the profiles. This is what I explained just before. And we are totally on an holistic system. We do more for the best. When you see his picture of Simon at the, okay, there were some guys who go to China and the others. The federation do more things for Pritika Pavad, by example. Now she's older, but when she was in detection, she made a lot of stuff. It's more than another good French players of the same age. It's logical. We have to do more for the best. Parents, by example, or some coach are not very agree with that, but we have to, because the level, the high level is there is too much pressure on high level. So we have to go forward. The main add value that we want to have the federation is to have the international experience. This is the most important, to move to the international, to see, just only staying in France with our little city, little country. I help for season planning support. Sometimes it's difficult. This is something we don't learn. We don't touch a lot in our formation. We do a physical training program with big lines for improvement, but also with a lot of prevention because they play a lot. We can do some plus also on the medical monitoring with osteopaths, with physiotherapists and stuff like this. We specialize who work all the years with sports and in table tennis, and do some concept of nutrition too. Just see, okay. And for the training acts, this is one more than the organization. The three more aspects, this is respect the opposition aspect. Like I say a lot already, we are not playing all together. We are not like a musician who play piano and there is no one who can do something, or someone who's swimming and there is no interaction with the others. We have to be very good with this. And so always in all the exercise to respect that. You have the three items. I only told the third one. It's in all exercise when we train on the national level, we leave an opening to imagination. 1 time or 5, approximately, it's free. It's important to let them imagine to create their own table tennis. Already when they're kids, it's important. Making the training time possible. So as we can see in the little video, it's in the warm-up, off and at the table. Always have the 2 players working together and not one after all. This is something we try to do. And working on fundamentals because they are kids. So it's like when you are doing a house or something like that, we are doing foundation. So for technicals, we think posture, rhythm, and all the energy, it's in the same direction. It's very important. And have the time to repeat, not to change every morning when you're scrolling on Instagram or Facebook, always change. No, you have to repeat to fix the stuff. Tacticals, the smart aspect, learn from your matches. We try to start this with the kids to learn from the match. It's not easy, but it's important to start early. Physically, we work a lot on mobility, speed, coordination, proprioception, all the sensitive stuff too. They know the body. And the fundamental, as you can see, if I have one to keep, it's being positive because you have the body of language, and when you're positive, you have the taste of effort because you know it's important.
Thank you very much, Guillaume, for the second part of your presentation. And I do have a question for you related to this part. I know that there is a high number of professional coaches in France with the highest coaching license. And we heard now how complex and comprehensive the build-up system and respectively what behind all the system is, you know. It was for sure a hard task for you, for the French Federation, to build up the system. But one of the most important, in my opinion, and maybe the even harder task is to do the coordination between the French Federation, the regional coaches, and also with the coordination with the club coaches. who have one of the most important roles with giving the players the base, let's call it like that. So the wish technique, the wish system of play, whatever. Are you having online lessons with the regional coaches, or maybe even advanced coaching educational programs related to the talent program, to the talent identification?
We have a physical program, I told, but after I'm not sure to understand. We have a big direction, like I told. After, I think one thing very important. This is the couple between the trainer and the player. And one of my role at the national level, and for the guys at the regional level, is to help them to be prepared for the high level. Because me, I don't train the kids every day. This is not my part. And I have to put them my experience, Stefan experience, Clement's experience, to make growth fast as possible, I will say. So we don't have a magical powder, unfortunately, but but we have some aspects on, like I say, on nutrition. We have aspect on physical stuff, but for the technical and tactical stuff, it's very depending, because sometimes we choose kids with not a very high level, but they don't play on table tennis until 1 year. So we work a lot of the technical skills. I have a girl in head to learn all the skills, and we have kids. They are 7 years old, but they play since 4 years ago. So they're already a good player. So we are on other aspects for them. So it's very difficult to answer to.
Okay, and is there at the moment an online platform where the coaches, all coaches of the French Federation have an account?
During 20 to 2010, there is a lot of documents. I told you the DVDs, stuff like this. Since 2010 to 2020 in France, but in all sports, we always have a professional teacher, but it was more on the on society problem, not an high level problem. It was for the health. Sometimes you make table tennis, but you make tennis, you make other sports. You see, you are multi-card. It's more multi-card. There is in the clubs now. What want the clubs in France? This is more coach with multi-card. So the federation work a lot on this, like all the federation, all the sports. And now we are not better than 10 years ago on the formation for high level. So, but now we're gonna make it. It's not the problem. But this is the changing of the society. We are beaucoup on health problems and stuff like this.
Okay, thank you very much, Guillaume. And I kindly ask you for the last part of your.
Yeah. Okay. And I don't. Okay, good. Okay, this is the short one. Okay, and the evolution, the reflection we will have, and we already talk a little bit with Dominic. What is not easy, because it is an old project to manage and keep a dynamic in this project. One of the challenge of this project, this is Jordan working with Damien. Damien take the second step. Damien is working with me. I take the second step. So we have the history. This is a good one, a good stuff. I hope we don't do the same mistake. So voilà. But to keep this dynamic on this project, and now we need to do another shot. Having a stronger connection with the high level. This is what I told just before, for the knowledge, for the dream effect. The high level was a little bit disconnect now from the clubs, and for the kids, we are even in the national camp. This is too different. What we have to put them together more than 10 years ago. It was easier. It was, but now we have to do more effort on this. Implement for physical and preventive tests at higher level. Okay. Sharp and frequent. We are doing some stuff since 5-6 years, but only once a year, once on 2 years. We have to be more specific and more often make this physical and preventive tests. We are working with the medical staff actually. I hope in next year it will be okay. It will be okay for the kids, and also they have it all along the career. This is the most important. And also one of the evolution I want to have, it's to develop open mind players, because we are in a year very special. But we work a lot on the autonomy aspect. We want to do some direction for the coach. We are working on a document with some colleagues. In French, maybe you see with me, I don't know, but the English practice, it's not very good. All the kids who are going to European training camp with the ITTF or some coach and players who are going to the ITTF Hopes, they have difficulty in English. So at the national level, we start in March during the confinement, learn how to talk in English in table tennis since they are 8, because everyone in the world can do it except the little French. So we have to work hard. We can always say we are not good. It's like that. We speak French. No, we have to do some work, and also some reflection on the ecology, because I take ecology, but this is the idea to understand in which world they are living. Because if they are to become table tennis professionals, they have to be integrated in the world society. This is important. They can be only disconnected. This is a part important, I think. As you can see in American sport, all the effect of the society, there is some sportsmen who are real leader in the world, and I hope in table tennis, maybe one day a French guy can be something like that. So I take ecology, but there is other big subject. It's important to have the open mind players. And now on the aspect very national, on the training, on the day-to-day, I will say we have to, the federation has to include more the players' environment. And the environment is 3 parts for me. This is the coach. We have to have stronger and more frequent exchange. As we can do a webinar, okay, I think in 1 year we do 10 years forward in technology of Zoom, like Zoom and all this stuff like this, the video exchange, the Skype. Everyone know now how it works. It was not the case 1 year ago, so we have to do this more. Want the coach coming more frequently in the national camp to have more exchange, and maybe create a program to improve the competence for young players. This is what you asked me before, Dominique. We have a platform federal, but this is for low level, not for high level formation. Maybe we have to improve that, to create that, and especially for my part, for the young players, with the theory and practice. And for the parents too, because we are sports who demand a lot of deployment of time for the training. So we have to integrate them more into the sport project. They have a big importance, a big part. And sometimes we are not clear about the role of each part. And I think, and I do the mistake, and for that I totally easily. And I think we have to be better. You have to progress on this aspect, and make them aware of the faculty of mentoring a young athlete, because it's not a normal life. When if they want to go to this side of the stuff, it's not a normal life. So they have to be prepared, because it will be not a normal life for the parents too. And clubs and local level, we have to re-insist on the fact that more must be done for special cases. This is there is like I told you, in the society, this is in France particularly, equality is important, but high level is not always equality. You have to do more for the best, and with the equality, you can have some friction. So we have to insist a little bit on that. And in conclusion, what I told a little bit, this is a Japanese author who said, to have a dream, to work hard, and to make effort, it can be a bad thing. This is why I call aussi for the open mind aspect. For me, these kids, of course, like you can see on the picture, all are not the world champion. There is no French world champion since the program starts. I hope it will arrive. But if they have their dreams, they work hard and they make effort, they will be a good person for the future. This is a very important aspect for me, because they can help the federation and the society in different ways by only be a champion, and it will be important for their life later. Thanks for your attention. Stop the sharing. Okay.
Yeah, Guillaume, thank you so much. Really interesting indeed. I have a quick question. You mentioned several things in this third part regarding the coaches, parents, clubs. So when we have, maybe this is very common problem, let's say, in many other countries, when we have a good player, maybe, a talented player, we in the national level, we can have more difficulties. I mean, some complications, let's say like that, because coaches, they want the player being, with them. Parents, they don't want the kids going too many days out. Clubs also, they have their own logic to keep the player because they have club matches and so on. And the school also, the school can create many problems in leaving the player. So what is the ideal perspective, the ideal cocktail, to make them agree that, okay, we have a talent, maybe, as you said, we can spend more time on this, and then it is about the dream only, or I don't know, for example, for the school, you have some good connection with the school, with a special program for some talent players that can help the coaches and parents and clubs as well.
The reality is there is no system and a magical solution. It's like sometimes, like always, I will say, it's a problem of person. We have some director of school, by example, 20 minutes where I live from, 2 afternoons of the week, they don't go to school. They don't go to school. They are okay. The kids can make table tennis, but 1 kilometer after there is another school, and the director don't want this. So it's but because there is an history, this is 20 years ago, it's like this, and everything's going always fine. And to talk about the problem with school parents, when the kids go in the national group force detection, we called before, in the group, we are doing a meeting to start, and we want at this meeting there is the most people possible for the environment, and we talk about what is the condition to be in this group and what is the good aspect and the bad aspect. As you say, you have to go a lot of it, you are missing some school, and when you say the environment is important, when you see the school don't want the kids leave, the parents are not okay, the player has to be good, but it's difficult. It's difficult when the environment is not going in the same direction. It's difficult. So it's to make them understood that we have to be. It's a special way, so we have to do differently. And if someone don't want to do differently, it's gonna be difficult. In our system in France, it's difficult. In Germany, by example, sometimes you have a school the morning and you can do sport the afternoon, but it's not easier than 20 years ago. In Germany, it's more also difficult now. So we have to find some place where there is this philosophy who is okay with us. But it's in France, don't go to school. It's not an easy way. Not it's a everyday battle.
Yeah. So okay, great. Very, very exciting, I have to say. Thank you again, Guillaume. And then back to Dominic. I think we have some questions that actually Guillaume already answered to them regarding the suitable age to start table tennis. Said that starting from 4 to 7 is the first detection, as you were saying, the recruitment, as you said, or maybe regarding the test for the physical that also you have explained in the first part. But Dominic, maybe we have something else. Can you take over, please?
Yeah, thank you very much, Massimo. Yeah, it's time for the question and answer part. And dear ladies and gentlemen, please still feel free to leave your questions in the Q&A section. And yeah, for this unique chance to get an answer from Guillaume. And I would like to start with a question from Christina Dodd, Guillaume. But actually, you've answered already a part of the question. You mentioned that there is unfortunately no consent regarding the possible practice because each school has different hours and so on. But what about centers in France regarding this kind of age of players? Are you planning to have centers like them, to increase the number of centers? I mean, also considering the fact that the infrastructure has to be built up in a very well way.
Yeah, I see the question of Chris now. I say hello because I saw the last international competition we made. We were all of us in Budapest in January. So it was the last time we can go out of this country. So to ask to her, the training center for the under 13, so more than 11. When you have 12 in France, you change, you go to the college. Là, you have one center by region, or you can practice 15, 20 hours a week in 12 at least place in France. When your kids, you go to the school, to the école in France, you call like this, you're under 11. There is no real possibility. You don't go to school the Wednesday, like in a lot of countries, maybe you only go to the 4 times. But this year, there is some news because we don't have a Ministry of Sports. The sports now is with the National Education. And normally, they want to open, to develop a special excellent sports section for the kids are 11 and 10. But with the COVID stuff and all this, it's only start. This is only right on the paper. We don't see the effect. But normally, we can have possibilities for the kids now when we are 9, 10, 10, 11, to go on this special school. This is a little bit the connection aussi with Paris 2024 for the Olympic Games. The idea is to have the Olympics also in the schools. But for the moment, personally, I don't see the effect. I have go to a meeting in June, but since June, the situation is always so complicated. We don't talk about this for the moment. But after we found historically some possibility, but there is a lot of possibility with private school in France. I see one in the north of France, one in the east here, first of all, in the south too. The possibility was already in the private school because the director of a private school can do more easier what he wants to do than in public school. But it's expensive.
Thank you very much, Guillaume, and we wish you all the best, and also the French state with implementing this hopefully possible and unique chance, to grow up centers which can enhance the level of the players. And I would like to pass back now to Massimo for the next question.
Yeah, well, it's not a real question, but just to add a few things, because this program that started, as Guillaume said, in 2002 from Jean-Denis Constant, and then I've seen also that Christian Martin is having done a lot of work. Few seconds ago, I've seen also Claude Bergeret connected with us. So it looks that there is a strong, let's say, investment on past champions. Let's say. I mean, I played with the Christian several times. On the knee as well during the 70s. So it looks that there is, that background, the background of those champions are basically the backbone of the new generation of players. Is something that was planned in advance, or you just thought, okay, we had previous champions, we can use their knowledge and make our system good? Because this is a part very important, how to continue, how to progress, and how to keep the knowledge and the background of a country, actually. So maybe if you can add anything on this. You are young, I understand, but you are quite...
No, I smile a lot because this is an aspect who I think it's very important. I like a lot history. So for me, what you say, and I say on my little production, Dominique, I worked 4 years with Régis Canor, who is not in the documentaire, but Régis Canor, he's the one who's coached Jean-Philippe Gatien at the INSEP when he was a kid. He was European Championship coach in 84 in Paris. I don't do a mistake. If I do a mistake, Claude will be not happy. Not, but I have the chance to exchange a lot with Jean-Denis, all the ice players since 15 years now. And I think it's very important. It's something in France we don't do correctly. The transmission between, I always have the imaginary of in the Japanese, the old one with the young one who is teaching the stuff like in the martial art and all this stuff. In our sports, in our federation, we are not good enough on this, but I think we will do better because now all these instruments that you know are a little bit older, doesn't work for the federation anymore, and we have the young ones like me. It's very important to keep their knowledge to win sometimes and to be and like always, and it's not to be proud to say that, but to be better and better. This is the role of our federation, so we don't have to miss all the stuff they've done.
Okay, great. Yeah, so there are many more things actually that I would like to ask, but I think we are at the end of this time with you, Guillaume. I don't know, Dominic, do we have anything else? Otherwise, we can wrap up and conclude our really interesting meeting.
Thank you, Massimo. Yeah, one more question arose. The question is from Castro, and I know it's also a little bit a tricky question because it depends on how long the athlete has already been trained, but how many hours a week of training is recommended for an 8-year to 10-year-old talent? What is your opinion?
Our opinion today is to mostly, one thing very important for me, it's almost play every day. Maybe not 2 hours a day, but play every day. Sometimes it's only 30 minutes or 45 minutes, but very high quality attention, because when you play with a sparring partner, by example, when you are 8 years old, you play with your sparring partner 45 minutes. This is already a very good training. Now this is for 8. Sometimes there is some speech to say the same hour by week, like the age. So 8 years, 8 hours. For me, I think in table tennis, we must do a little bit more. So I think when you are on 10, 12 hours a week, it's for 11, 10, it's okay. But I prefer 10 hours a week with 1.5 hour 6 times in the week, but not 12 hours with 3 times of 3 hours. This is too long for kids and stuff like that. A lot of short sequences. This is the best for them, for the concentration and stuff. And when they are going to training camps, we are working on the concentration on long term. This is easier, but when they are going to school and they have to do a lot of organization, it's difficult to work on this aspect. It's already difficult. So quality first. If they're capable to do quality at 30 minutes, okay. If they're capable to do quality during 2 hours, I sign always.
Thank you very much, Guillaume. And yeah, thank you very much for this comprehensive presentation. Guillaume, the entire ITTF HPT team want to thank you very much also for sharing your knowledge, your experience, thoughts, expertise, and for giving us so many interesting insights into the topic talent identification and how the French system works. And furthermore, we would also like to thank the French Table Tennis Federation for its cooperation regarding this webinar. And I kindly ask Claude for words. So please, Claude, hello and welcome.
Yes, hello. Can you see me?
Yes, we can clearly see you.
Yeah, can you hear me? Yeah. Hello, everybody. First, I would like to congratulate Guillaume, because I follow all the things, and even if I know it from the start, I appreciate a lot how he presented it, and it was quite a hard job to do, and he did well. So Guillaume, I am congratulating you, and I was very pleased to see that you put the English learning in your future aim, because when I was helping the program a long time ago with Jean-Denis, and I went to some countries like China, Japan, and Korea, and Sweden, the kids, Marie Migaud, Audrey Zariv, and others, they couldn't say a word, and I started with them very short lesson just to be able to count or to ask for some food or drink or things like that, and to know the table tennis words. So this is good, and congratulations, Guillaume. Good luck for the rest of the work. And of course, I would like to thank the ITTF and all the team with Massimo, Dominique, and Polona, and everybody. First for the job you do, and you are doing, and you will do, but also for having invited us to present our program, because it's always good to share and maybe to have feedback, because as Guillaume said, we always try to improve and we try to avoid to repeat the mistakes we did, but it's not easy because we are only human beings. So thank you to the ITTF, thank you Guillaume, and I hope to see you soon as we can live. Bye.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Oh, with Claude, it's easy. She's nice with me, so it's important in English to know some words. And with Claude, we will drink great white wine together. It will be perfect. We are in France.
You know my weak point.
We're gonna do that. And Dominique,
Okay.
I see in the question and answer part, some people ask if the presentation can be shared. In the link I give to you, I put the document in PDF. So if you want to send to who you want, it's there is no problem for me.
Thank you very much, Guillaume, and we will then upload it onto our ITTFeducation.com page as usual. And now I want to thank all of you, all the attendees, for your interest and attendance at our 28th ITTF HPD Table Tennis at Your Fingertips webinar. And I'm looking forward to our next webinar with the topic Table Tennis in Schools Program in Member Association, which will be held on next Friday, this time, the 20th November at 1 p.m. Central European Time. So stay tuned, and that's all from my side for today. Stay safe and fit, and pass over to you, Max, and I kindly ask you for the closing words.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks, Dominic. Yes, my closing words is to thank Guillaume and the French Federation. Also, Claude was kindly enough to come and say a few words. Appreciated that. And yes, it was great. I mean, it's another opportunity for all our attendees around the world, you know, to capture, to get some inputs, some new things, new ideas, see the things with different perspectives and so on. So I hope it was all of you liked it, first of all, and you can have a good benefit from this presentation, which will be available also, as Dominic said, in our website. So thank you again. Next week we have table tennis in schools. Again, we insist a little more on these aspects, and see you next time. Thank you, Guillaume. Thank you, Dominic. Thank you all on the back end, and ciao, ciao.
Bye-bye.
Thanks.